Hey guys, Josh here and welcome to another Mass Effect Andromeda gameplay series analysis breakdown video. This is exploration and discovery. So without further ado, let's get into it. This one has some really cool things in it that I really was like, wow, when I saw them. So let's go. Yeah, pretty cool one.
Welcome back to the Mass Effect Andromeda gameplay series. In our first installments, we took a close...
So there we one thing quickly. Go back. It's nice gameplay, but we have a rower car. Now, whether that's an enemy type, like just the name of a soldier type thing, or it's an actual name, an alien, I don't know. But it's a rower car, which is a completely alien type name, which is cool. Let's carry on.
First installments, we took a closer look at combat gameplay. Today, we're diving straight into the heart of Mass Effect Andromeda: exploration.
First of all, we have what looks like some sort of giant fucking series of weird sort of plinth-looking obelisk type things, which are like sort of looking at a maze. I guess that's quite a key plot point. Looks fucking amazing, really big place. Really cool. And what looks like in the background, stars, kind of. So, yeah, whether this is to do with that big thing in the middle or not, we've seen a lot of that big blue hole thing, but a very cool looking key location by the looks of it.
Full story missions. Andromeda is filled with worlds to explore. No way this is home. Our story is contained within the Helius cluster, a portion of space populated with dozens of star systems. And the Tempest is where that exploration begins.
First actual look at in-game. This is how you access the galaxy map. Looks fucking amazing. Like I said, you can see the galaxy sort of in front of you like that. At that point, they're just sort of outside it, but it just looks so cool the way he just looks, and you got that giant window in front of him looking out onto space, and he uses the galaxy map. And now we have the galaxy map. There it is. That is our galaxy map for this game. Looks pretty big. Like I said, this is a cluster. It's not an actual whole galaxy. It's a cluster within Andromeda, but I have theories, and there's loads of other theories online about how by the end of the game something's going to happen story-wise. It means that in further games we'll go further into Andromeda, or maybe even at the end of this game we'll open up into other areas of Andromeda towards the end of the story. But you can see there's various little bits to go to, various stars to go to. Some of them probably have multiple planets on scan like you always do in systems, which is really cool. So yeah, this is a cluster. Now in Mass Effect, you had 1, 2 and 3, you jumped between clusters basically, and then within those clusters you had systems you could go to. So sometimes you arrived at a star and then you could go to other clusters, right? In this you jump to the individual stars with your ship. So that's a lot of stars basically, and some of them will have loads and loads of planets on them. So for every one of those stars there's probably going to be about at least 3 or 4 planets. That gives you an idea of how many places there are to go. And a lot of them will have content on them. Some of them are just scanning. Some of them you just go down and explore, not necessarily much on them, but it will still be cooler, I think, than what they did back in Mass Effect 1, which was go and land on a barren planet and do nothing. I think on these planets there'll be more enemies to face and stuff like that. Obviously not every planet's going to have buildings and civilization, but there might be like little outposts and things like that. It sounds like Mass Effect 1, but I think they're going to do it different this time. It sounds like it's going to be a lot more involving and fun to do. It's going to be interesting to go to. It's not going to be boring driving around a barren rock and maybe finding one building on it. It's actually a bit more involving, which is really cool. There are places to go and just level up and kill enemies and have some fun, basically. So you can see there he's going to Farone, and he has 20% completion there. You are here helping Havari scientist Haval. Okay, Havari scientist Haval. Or maybe that's a location. Haval's like the planet, I guess, and Haval scientist. Yeah, that's the adjective. And Farong is like the star name, I guess. Yeah. Let's carry on, shall we? You can hide UI as well. Notice at the bottom there, down here, you can see hide UI. So you can just hide the UI and just see the stars and that, which is pretty cool. Now the next bit you see is amazing.
This galaxy map. From planets to moons,
So you see the planets actually in 3D space, you see the wreckage in 3D space, and you get to read about them and scan them, all that kind of thing.
you are in Helius, you'll now be able to see everything that
And this is,
outside the ship's main window.
look at that. That is just amazing. That basically wherever you go, you come out of the galaxy map and you're actually there. The ship is physically there in space. You can see it out your window. That is so cool. Look at that. That's not the ship deck. That's his bedroom, which is really cool. And you can see a sun there shining through the window. That is going to be so fucking cool to have those different views as you go through the game, go to different planets, to go up to your bedroom and go to the other windows of the ship and just see these amazing views of these planets and the stars shining in like that, really bright with a nice bit of glare and that, and lens flare coming through. Just looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. Just looks beautiful. Yeah, and there's people already saying, oh, they're looking forward to having different romances with different planets and shit in the background during the cutscenes, and that would be really cool. But let's carry on, shall we?
Real time. In Andromeda, there are over 100 planets to discover, and a handful of beautifully crafted worlds can be landed on.
Right. So 100 planets in general, and then a handful they said you can land on, which is kind of disappointing. You don't know what Bioware's definition of a handful is. I mean, out of 100, a handful would be what? I don't know. 15 maybe different planets you can go to. I don't know, I'm just making guesses. But it seems that each of those planets has a lot to do on them. So, you know, it's still a lot of content. It's just a shame you can't go everywhere. But obviously, you can't go to every planet and expect there to be content. But it seems that the planets you can go to do have decent content on them and a lot to do. They're not, like I said, barren. And you'll see more about that in a second.
And that's where the adventure really begins. Each world you visit has its own story,
Yep.
its own characters, and of course, its own challenges.
Look at that thing. We've seen that before in trailers and screenshots and that. So yeah, basically every planet you can go to in the game has been crafted. It's not just a barren wasteland. It's been crafted. It has content there. It has story there. It has people to meet, that kind of thing. Whereas all the other planets are kind of just scannable and there might be information about them, which we've had in past Mass Effect games anyway. But it just seems that the planets you can go to have a lot more into them, and they are more open than they would have been in the past. Basically think of it as like every hub you got to go to in Mass Effect 1, 2 and 3 is a planet, but there's more of them and they're more open and you can go wherever you want in them. Seems to be the way they're going for it.
Today, the world we're going to visit is called Eladin.
Looks pretty nice. We've seen this before in a lot of art.
You'll quickly discover that the heat on this planet can be deadly. Water is scarce, and mysterious ancient artifacts dot the landscape guarded by dangerous remnants.
Looks really nice and pretty. Got some Tyrans there. Not sure if they're male or female, but we have Tyrans anyway.
Live here, you have to be desperate, or Krogan. But even the Krogan aren't happy, and they don't trust anyone from the Initiative.
That's a good point. They don't trust anyone from the Initiative, but the Initiative brought them here. So, leads to my suspicions about what happens in the story. I have a suspicion from this point that the fact that there's buildings here and you supposedly only just arrived makes me think that something goes really, really wrong with the Initiative, and that the human arc turns up a lot after it should do, and that basically the other races get there, the Krogan get there, the Tyran get there, the Asari get there, and basically they've already started settling worlds and they've been fucked up because of the Ket and all that, and shit like that's happening. And basically because the humans, who were kind of, imagine, leading it somewhat, didn't turn up because something's gone wrong. Basically there's a lot of races such as the Krogan which hate them for it, because obviously they left them kind of stranded a bit with no real leadership. Which is, yeah, science happened for the Krogan to be pissed off at them with the Initiative, despite the fact the Initiative brought them there. So yeah, there's something definitely interesting about that with the story. As we'll learn that, won't we?
Least of all, a Pathfinder. How you deal with the Krogan and these challenges will ultimately determine your success on Eladin.
We need the Krogan, and the Krogan need us.
Before you set out, you'll get an update from your AI, pointing out key locations.
The Revenant
Cool.
suggests this was indeed supposed to be a golden world.
We're going to start the adventure by heading over to the Krogan colony, but the choice of where to go is ultimately yours.
Looking good. So here we go. This is where we're going to open.
The Nomad is key to quickly covering the expansive landscapes throughout Andromeda. You can also enhance.
So we have some upgrades available for it. We have advanced deflection system, advanced life support, agility mode, defense fortification, just general things like making it faster, making it life support. I think is so you can survive in better conditions because, like you, the Nomad can only go in certain areas for so long, cold and hot, that kind of thing. So better life support makes it survive that longer. Defense fortification, that it can take more damage. Shield, it has no weapons on it. It's just built. You can make it really tanky though, and it can boost more, that kind of thing. And all of them are bought by SI, NI, and EZ. EZ is EZO, NI is nickel, and the SI is I'm not sure. People on the table can tell me, or maybe it's a made-up one for Mass Effect. But anyway, so that's that. Anything else can see? So yeah, sound system to allow all kinds of Nomad to detect enemies for obstacles. So basically, yeah, you can see people around you. Oh, silicon, there it is on the right. I didn't even see it. So element 0, nickel, and silicon are like the main things, it seems. But there's probably different elements you need for different things. And I think he scrolls down the list. Yeah, he does. So you need different things for different things. You need beryllium, element 0 again, and whatever CD is. So yeah, you need different, which you get from scanning, like you would in all my other Mass Effects, but it's a bit more involving. You get to see the actual planets you're scanning a bit more in depth and go around them and that kind of thing.
Turbo boost, higher jumps, better handling, and more. While you're exploring, one of the key objectives will be to discover locations to call down forward stations.
Cool.
Once found, each of these will act as a fast travel point.
Right. Fast travel point. And also something very nice is Eladin is now called New Tuchanka, which is very nice. Yeah. I just need some other gameplay, which is quite long, and I won't probably do a breakdown of it because it's like a 15-minute long gameplay, and would be like an hour and a half long breakdown, me going through every bit of it. But in that, the human planet they're going to is going to be called New Earth, so it makes sense. This will be New Tuchanka. There'll be new. What the fuck is the Sasari world called? Oh, what's it called? Alessia? I can't remember, but anyway. And Panavan is the Tyrian one, so yeah, they're going to be the planet names. But the original planet name is Eladin.
And allow you to change your loadout or call the Nomad.
Right, so you can only change your loadout at these terminals, which you have to call down. So you can't just do it anywhere, which makes it a bit more balanced, I guess. Because I wasn't sure if you could do it everywhere. So yep, when you're near them, you don't have to worry about danger of the environment.
Conversations at the Krogan colony point us in a few directions. Exiles are causing trouble at their base, the Flophouse. And a derelict remnant ship may have a drive core the Krogan are in desperate need of.
Sure.
Let's head to that ship and see what we can find. Out here, we are more exposed to the heat. In Andromeda, all of the planets have localized and or global hazards. The Pathfinder and the Nomad are both separately outfitted with life support systems that help protect against these hazards.
You can see something there, actually, if you go back a slightly bit. As you go there, look, there's something there moving. Now, whether it's that robot thing or it's an actual live creature, I don't know, but still, it's something we're going to have to fight.
But once you run out, you'll need to find a safe location or a forward station to recharge.
Okay.
As you travel throughout the world,
oh yeah, it's one of them.
Areas to explore, new characters, and new storylines.
Cool.
Ultimately, all of these discoveries will help raise the viability of the planet.
Right. So there you have the missions on the left. Conflict colony, dismantle, taming a desert.
Increasing planet viability does two things. Allow for the creation of an outpost.
Right, so that sounds really cool. So basically you have to do missions there and basically discover shit and clear enemies out and that kind of thing. And if you do that, the viableness of the planet goes up. You can build an outpost, which looks pretty cool.
And upgrade the Nexus.
And upgrade the Nexus. So yeah, it's a sense of progression and that you're basically completing planets and seeing shit being built there as a result of that. You're colonizing, and that's what the point of Andromeda is. So it's really cool. You get to see your work coming out in physical buildings, and I guess you need to get the resources for that and that kind of thing. So that's kind of cool. And there'll be people there, traders there, I imagine, and that kind of thing. And maybe even quests will pop up possibly from them as well. So you get a real sense of you're helping them like colonize planets, which is really cool. When you get, it's a sense of progression for you to do them, which is really cool. Sounds interesting.
The Andromeda Initiative's space station. Before a planet can support an outpost, you'll first need to get its viability to at least 40%.
Right.
By pacifying threats, allying yourself to locals, solving environmental problems, and accomplishing specific tasks related to that planet's story. For example, in the case of Eladin, your relationship with the Krogan will determine whether you can build here or not.
Now, back there, one thing I just noticed, which I didn't notice before, is this guy there looks like Drac. And I'm wondering if you meet Drac here. This is where you meet Drac. Because if you're on a human arc, obviously you're not going to have a Krogan or a Asari from the start, so you're going to have humans. You're going to have Kara and Liam. So that's your starting squad, which is your human squad, and then you're going to go to a planet full of Krogans, and you're going to get a Krogan from them. You'll go to a planet full of the Asari, get the Asari from them, go to a planet full of Turians. Basically, that's how you build your squad. And finally, the Ungarians, which is a new race, you go there and get one of them as well. So that's your sense of doing planets, doing story, and getting squad members again, which is very nice.
The Krogan will determine whether you can build here or not. Regardless
Cool.
of whether you build an outpost, your exploration and discoveries will also give you Andromeda viability points.
That's what AVP means, Andromeda viability points. Quite a mouthful, but yeah.
Reaching thresholds will allow you to upgrade the Nexus and wake up more colonists from cryosleep.
Cool. So as you make planets viable and build outposts on them, you then rank up in your AVP level, and then you can unlock more colonists to send down to those planets to live. So you're going to really start seeing the galaxy coming alive. You're going to be able to go back to these planets and see people living there and just see the effects of what you're doing there, which is really nice to see, really cool, and see people about. And quests will come out of them, probably, I imagine, as well. So it's really nice to get a sense of seeing that happening. It's a real focus on, you are the Pathfinder, you are exploring the new galaxy and settling there, and that's what a large chunk of this game seems to be, which is really cool and sounds really interesting, as well as the overriding story as well.
Who you decide to wake up will determine what perks and advantages you'll get.
Okay. So yeah, you have to choose here between science, military, and commerce. He goes through them as well, which is pretty cool. 0 cry perks available. So I imagine there's 28 perks unlocked, and you get perks from them as well. As you level up, you can unlock more of these.
You wake up scientists to give you an edge in research and development.
Yep.
Military personnel to give you an edge in combat.
Cool.
Or merchants to give you a leg up when trading.
So that sounds cool. So basically, yeah, you can get really cool weapons and stuff by choosing merchants. So it depends on what you want to do. If you want a planet, you could basically just find what a planet becomes. Like, that planet I've unlocked and made viable, do I just populate it with loads of merchants, and that's a merchant hub, and you'll just see people buying shit all the time? If they do that, that'd be amazing to see that. So yeah, you can make a planet a merchant hub, you can make a planet a scientist hub. So you go there for scientist shit, you go there for merchant shit, or military strength, that kind of thing. It sounds really cool. These are the perks. So financial infrastructure, this is from the merchant one. So economic barriers, lay infrastructure, a robust financial system, time-based reward, earn credits for investments at regular intervals. So basically, you can come back to that planet and collect money because you establish those merchants there. You can take a cut. That sounds really cool, and you can own property in a way. That's really fun. I like that. And other games have done that. Assassin's Creed did that in 2 and Brotherhood and Revolutions, and then they didn't do it in in 3 onwards. But basically, yeah, you could like buy property and get rent off it and that kind of thing, which is really cool.
But of course, not everything on these worlds will be so straightforward. Andromeda holds many mysteries, not the least of which is a vast network of ancient vaults.
Cool.
Simply figuring out how to access one of these vaults is a challenge in and of itself that can take you across an entire world.
These seem like dungeons. Now, I've just been playing Horizon Zero Dawn, and on the channel it's only about 3 episodes in now, but I've got hours recorded, and I've just done a cauldron, which is Horizon Zero Dawn's take on a dungeon, basically, and you fight through a really cool area, really cool, with machines and shit going on around you, moving stuff, and you fight enemies, and you fight a boss at the end, and at the end of it you get the ability to tame more animals. This is like Mass Effect's equivalent of that. It's a dungeon to go through and clear through and work out the mysteries of. He goes through that in a minute, and you'll get some kind of reward out of it at the end, which is really cool.
Once inside, you'll need to rely on skills from every element of Andromeda gameplay, including exploration, environmental navigation, puzzle solving, and combat to get them back online, and then make it out alive.
Sounds fun.
And resolving the mystery of these vaults may just hold the key to survival in Andromeda.
This is unbelievable.
So yeah, it seems quite a key point, basically, to planet by planet, clear through these vaults and find out what the hell they mean. This is really cool.
At its heart, Mass Effect Andromeda is a game of discovery and exploration. The choices you make and the places you go, that you blaze your own unique trail through Andromeda. Whether you're exploring the depths of a crashed starship...
Now look at the size of that ship. Look at the size of that ship to go through. Damn, that's so cool.
Or delving into the core of an active volcano. The more you engage with the world around you, and the characters in it, the more that world will surprise you.
Hang on, let's look back. Those didn't look like anything we've seen before.
The more you engage with the world around you, and the characters...
Well, those didn't look like anything we've ever seen before. They look kind of like Ungolians, but at the same time not. So I'm not sure whether they're another alien we haven't seen yet, possibly. Can't really tell. That'll be interesting. I'm hoping there are other aliens. We've seen the new race Ungolians and we've seen the Ket, but I imagine there will be other smaller races we just haven't seen that much of.
Characters in it, the more that world will surprise you with what's waiting just around the corner.
It's really gonna be something, isn't it?
Cool. So there we have it. Now, judging by the fact he didn't say next time, that looks to be the final gameplay series video, unfortunately. But there's still loads to come before launch. There's been gameplay being teased that's been released through media outlets. The first 15 minutes has been released somewhere. PB's loyalty mission has been released somewhere. They're quite long gameplays. I'm not going to go through them because they are quite long, and to do a breakdown of them, like I said, would be a good hour or two long. So if you want to check them out, by all means go look them up. They're really cool. Just show off that. In fact, the opening one just shows off how the dialogue system works, which is quite nice to see. And then there'll probably be, there's definitely the final initiative video, part 6, which I imagine will probably be coming out maybe next week, possibly, and then next week is the 12th, and then you got another week after that, then release, so it makes sense to do that, or maybe they'll push it to the weekend after before release, something like that. There might be another one of these and they just haven't shown what the next one is, maybe, possibly, it'd be a nice surprise. Unfortunately, they have cancelled the multiplayer tech demo, like closed alpha thing, beta thing they were going to do, which is really kind of disappointing. I don't particularly know why. I think it's probably because of just, I don't know. I guess it's just maybe money. EA just decided not to put the resources into that, considering that it's kind of really a side thing, really, the multiplayer is. It's not the main focus of the game, obviously. And so it seems kind of maybe it's just not worth their time putting the time into that. It is a PTP thing, but it's just a cult wave thing, so that's not a problem. I'm sure it's going to be a solid little fun thing to do as a side thing, and to extend the game a bit longer after you finish the story. I don't think it's really worth testing and having people access it and preview it before. I don't think it's really a problem. They are doing a closed test thing at like an event somewhere, like in a week or so, and gameplay might come out of that, so we might see some of that a bit more to see what it's like, and then get a bit more thought thing. But generally, everyone who's played the game has given really good opinions of it, and not just the big companies like IGN or people like that, like smaller people. Some YouTubers I follow have been allowed access, and they've said what they've played is amazing. I think My Name Is Bife, he basically said he said this could be the best Mass Effect ever out of all of them, and he's a big Mass Effect fan as well as Destiny fan. So hopefully, yeah, it looks to be really good. There will be, like I said, there will be a breakdown of the initiative video, and there will be a breakdown of probably a launch trailer as that comes out, and then any other surprises come along the way. But we're only about 3 weeks away from launch now. We're nearly there, guys. I'm looking forward so much to this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.